Well, the narcissist individual sitting in the Oval Office, well, you know exactly what happened here. He slaps his name on everything because he's so desperate for attention. Well, now that's the case. This here is a photo of the Kennedy Center, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts. This is, again, what is called the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for Performing Arts. Well, poor little, this little child, the Kennedy Center board supposedly unanimously voted to put his name on because he saved it. And then he gave an interview. He's like, in the Oval Office, oh, I was just surprised. I was surprised it happened. Here's the thing, though, y'all. This is how childish it is. First of all, you just can't just rename stuff with an executive order. This was dictated by Congress. But you know what? That idiot would never, ever accept that reality. And so that's the deal. But, and so talking about, just really screwing with a venerable institution in this country, facility they broke ground on it in December 1964, a year after the assassination of John F. Kennedy in Dallas. But again, when you're dealing with a child, that's what you are dealing with. And so he is attacking all of these systems. And in fact, if you want to understand, what's going on here, you got to realize how, again, shameful and despicable this individual is. He is desperate. He is desperate for attention. There's no amount of attention. I mean, did he not get enough as a child? But that's exactly who he is. And so he wants to destroy numerous institutions. Robert Rice, former labor secretary, put out a pretty interesting video, I thought was interesting. I'm going to go to that in a second, where he talked about what we're dealing with here with this petulant child, this individual who calls himself first of all, we don't know what the hell he even called himself. And again, when we're talking about a venerable institution, this here, of course, is the Kennedy Center right here. This is a Reuters video showing, and of course, the Trump folks are like, oh my God, it was falling apart. It was in disrepair. They had been losing money. And talk about, all of these donations that Trump has been now getting. Well, here's the problem with that. Their giving and donations are down in a huge way. A huge, huge way. They're down in a huge way. But again, when you're dealing with a child, this is how children act. And I'm telling you right now, I saw one, Tim Shriver, of course, Kennedy relative said, hey, whoever's the next Democratic president, we're going to take a chisel to that sucker. Michael Imhotep hosts African History Network show out of Detroit. Matt Manning, Civil Rights Attorney, Corpus Christi. Win Cooney, CEO, co-founder of Politicking. Glad to have y'all here. Win Cooney, listen, this is par for the course who this idiot is. The Institute of Peace, he slapped his name on that. And that's the whole, that's his thing. You have to feed his ego. And surely these Republicans are going to get tired of feeding the massive ego of this grown-ass 80-year-old child.
I don't know if the Republicans are going to get tired of it, actually. It seems like they've gotten quite good at it. But it is sad because the Kennedy Center has been heralded worldwide as a center for the intelligentsia, as a center for the performing arts and fine arts. And now it bears the name of a man who probably will go down in history as one of the worst presidents of the United States. And in addition, it's insulting to put his name up there alongside President Kennedy's name. You know, President Kennedy's living grandnephew, even said that they were not happy that this is something that's illegal and it was named by federal law, as you mentioned. And you can't just go around renaming historical relics in this way. The other thing that was concerning, Roland, is that this was allegedly voted on unanimously, but you have folks like Representative Joyce Beatty, who was an ex officio officer of the board, saying that she, actually was on the call in which this was voted into action, and her microphone was silenced multiple times on the call. And it's really sad that there is just no voice for dissent in this administration, and they've continued to prove that over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, we know exactly what we get here. We get a child. That's what he is. He is a grown-ass child, Michael, and he wants to, he's destroying the East Wing. He wants to erect this massive ballroom. He's fired the architect. It's just a whole big heap of mess over there right now. No one knows what the hell is going on. And so this is just a pure idiot we're now looking at.
Yeah, he's a pure idiot. And this is, followed up by the Wednesday 18-minute debacle by the petulant child in chief, who just stood there and just went on, just rambled on and told lie after lie after lie after lie about how great the country is, how great the economy is. So here you have, another dictator fascist move from Donald Trump, the traitor in chief, putting his name on adding his name to the Kennedy Center. Now it's the Trump Kennedy Center. But
no, it's not. No, it is not the Trump Kennedy Center. It is the Kennedy Center. That is the only Congress can change names.
Right.
It is the
That's
Kennedy.
What I was about to say.
It's the Kennedy Center.
That's what I was about to say. Only Congress can change it. It's a federal law. Only Congress can change it. Okay. So somebody's calling it the Trump Kennedy Center. Okay. It's still officially the Kennedy Center. The same way the Department of Defense is still the Department of Defense, even though they want to call it the Department of War. Okay. So once again, that goes to my point. I was about to make, Roland. We're on the same page here. He just tries to force, either by executive order or by putting people on a board to then vote and do things that are illegal, try to make them legal. This is what's taking place. But once again, these are the dictator moves. This was all predicted. And I know when Cooney said Republicans keep going along with this, but look at the number of Republicans in the House who have announced that they're not running for re-election or are retiring. As recently as today, Representative Stefanik has announced that she's not running for re-election and she's dropping out of the governor's race of New York. So some Republicans have had enough of this as well.
Well, that may be the case, but you still have massive ass kissers. And one of the biggest ass kissers, Matt, is this idiot Lindsey Graham. I mean, you talk about a true idiot. Let me pull up this tweet here. I mean, it's like, dude, really? I mean, this is how bad you are at this. He was just sitting here going, oh my God, this is just so amazing. This is what this fool said. This is Lindsey Graham, okay? You thought this person used to have a sense of integrity and decency. This well-deserved honor has been given to President Trump because he has poured his heart and soul into refurbishing and revitalizing the now Trump Kennedy Center, a national cultural icon. I have been intricately involved in helping President Trump seek funding to structurally improve the facility and give it a much-needed facelift. It has been an honor to work with President Trump and his team on this project. I've witnessed President Trump's passion to modernize this iconic venue and believe the renovations and modernization efforts will have long-lasting effects for the benefit of our nation. Congratulations, Mr. President. Again, this is well-deserved. That's a massive amount of ass-kissing in one tweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's supreme bootlicking, and I really don't see why you think you need to do that if you're Lindsey Graham, especially with the president who at least constitutionally cannot be reelected. We know he's, sent shots across the bow indicating he's going to try to be there for a third term. But presuming the Constitution and reasonable minds prevent that from happening, then I don't understand what the means to the end is for Lindsey Graham, especially as I think you're starting to see cracks in the Republican ranks. I think Michael's point is exactly right. They're starting to get worried about their reelection prospects and are starting to jump ship, especially when you have somebody like Stefanik, who I think is otherwise, beating the MAGA drum, jumping out of everything altogether. That to me really calls it into question. But what I think is especially interesting about this Kennedy Center, him attempting to co-opt it, is the fact that Kennedy's nephew is in his administration. Now, obviously, RFK is broken with his family, but that's a huge slap in the face, right? This is named after your uncle, and the guy who's attempting to be the dictator has decided to just slap his name on it without any authority. And I want to highlight one of the viewers in the YouTube chat because I always see insightful things there. named Corden84, and they said something very important. They said, Roland, you're saying that he's not supposed to do that, or rather he can't do that. But we have to reframe the language. Not only can he not do that, he's not supposed to do that. And what we're seeing with Republicans is they're trying to play it both sides, right? They're trying to say the law should be used as a sword and a shield. But if the law very clearly names this the Kennedy Center and it can't be changed except for by congressional action, then we cannot allow him to have an executive order that purports to allow him to do something other than that. I mean, you've got to stand up at some point and say that's not how the process works. And if we're going to say the process must be followed in these other respects, then we can't allow him to deviate from it here. And we know that they're not doing that. That's obviously been their track record for both of his administrations. But particularly now, as their reelection prospects loom on the horizon, I would think they would be planting the flag towards keeping themselves, self-preservation, right? Keeping themselves in office. And we don't see them doing that.
Yeah, this is the same person, though, who just decided, Department of War, even though same thing, you can't change it. And again, Republicans in Congress are not abiding by their constitutional duties. And so that's what we're dealing with. So it's just, this is just who these idiots are. They're just going to do stupid stuff like this all the time.
This is your chance to own a piece of the creator economy. And with Start Engine, investing in Fanbase couldn't be easier. Just visit startengine.com/fanbase and click Get Equity. Opportunities like this don't stay open long, but your investment can help build a platform that pushes the future of social media forward.